ਦੇਸੀ ਆਟਵਾ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਰਚਨਾ ਅਬਰੋਲ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਰੋਜਰਸ ਟੀਮ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਨਮਸਤੇ, ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਆਦਾਬ। Valentine is coming very soon in few days, so happy Valentine's to everybody. This month is full of giving and lots of love for everybody. Moreover, this is a month of care, compassion, empathy, and giving, so make sure, be generous to look after everybody. I had opportunity to ask grade 1 students what love means to them, and they told me love for books, love for this, love for that, love for chocolate, but they never mentioned that mom and dads were beside over there, because for them their friends were more. So make sure we all look after that too, learning from the kids that we do care for family, but we do care the surroundings around us too. So with that, we have in our studio today Marianne Martel. She will be talking about heart health. It's very important these days. People are not looking after, food is not the one we need to eat to look after our heart. So let's talk to Marianne Martel about how we all can leave our hearts in healthy settings, and what should we eat, what should we avoid to keep our hearts very healthy. So let's talk to Marianne Martel. Good evening, Marianne. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. This is great because not only is Valentine's, and it's also Heart Month as well. This month. So it's great. So my involvement is with the Canadian Women's Heart Health Centre and also with the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance. And my focus mainly is on women's heart health.
Okay.
And you might ask me, why is that?
Why is that? Let's see.
And the reason being is we've done a great job in educating our healthcare providers and our family members about men's heart, because even though we make up over half the population, you know, 2/3 of what we know today about heart disease is basically done on research conducted on men, and mainly middle-aged white men.
Okay.
So in the past, when we thought of heart disease, we thought it was mainly an older person's disease, or maybe just a man's disease. Actually, now we know that heart disease actually impacts a woman right across her lifespan.
I think it's more stress and that mental health is going on, right?
It is, and stress is one of the risk factors for heart disease, and women seem to bear the stress more and depression more as compared to men. So it is one of the risk factors. Stress and depression is one of the risk factors, because that does affect our heart, and it's now known about that. And some of the facts about women's heart health, I don't know, maybe you were aware, but heart disease is the #1 cause of death for women worldwide. And also, we're now seeing an increase in heart events among younger women. And these are women between the ages of 35 to 55 years of age. And
that's very young.
And you might ask me why. And the reason is because of a variety of risk factors and poor healthy behavior.
Exactly.
Yes. So some of those risk factors, just for example, I don't know if you're aware, but risk factors for heart disease can present as early as age 20. So that means from a very early age, we need to do healthy lifestyle. So we need to eat healthy, we need to be physically active, and we have to manage our stress.
Exactly, yeah.
So for a young female, she also needs to know her family history, because we're now figuring out that certain ovarian conditions can actually increase a woman's risk of heart disease at a later age. So she needs to know her family history. Pregnancy. Pregnancy is like a 9-month-long heart stress.
Heart stress.
Yes. So if a woman has had complications during her pregnancy, and this is things we're all finding out now by doing more research and education about women's heart health. So if a woman has delivered her baby prematurely before 37 weeks gestation, or if she developed diabetes or high blood pressure during her pregnancy, she's now putting herself at a future risk of developing heart disease. So these women, after their baby is born, the main focus is on the child, which is understandable. But these women need to be constantly monitored by their doctor after they've had their baby, if they've had pregnancy complications. And the other thing about women, if a woman goes through menopause, and most women go through menopause between the age of 50 to 52. But if she goes through menopause early, before the age of 45, that can increase her risk of heart disease by 50%. And also for women, as we get older, past menopause, our cholesterol level, which is our bad cholesterol, increases.
Yes.
So there's those risk factors that we didn't know before. So that's why when the Canadian Women's Heart Health Centre was launched, the focus was on research and on awareness and on care for women with heart disease.
So I have a question for you. I know the hereditary plays the role in the heart disease, but there is social area is involved there too. So how much the social development involved in that heart disease?
For family history?
Family history.
Family history is a high risk factor because the reason being is that if you've had a first degree relative, a father or a brother who had a heart event before the age of 50 or 55,
Okay.
or a mom or a sister who had a heart event or heart attack before the age of 60 or 65, that can actually double a person's risk of developing heart disease because they have the same genetic factor. So it's very, very prevalent. So if you have, I often hear people saying, you know, did you tell your doctor you have a family history? Well, no, I didn't happen to mention that to my doctor.
Okay.
So if there is a family history, you really do need to mention that to your doctor because you need to be assessed.
Assessed, yes.
And you need to be monitored because you are because of family history, you are at a higher risk of heart disease.
So some people, they go at the last minute to the doctor, to the heart department, and they find out that 99% was the blockage, right? What do you think, how can people avoid that, that instead of going to 99% when blockage is there, they go, what are the signs and symptoms they go faster than this one?
Well, that's a good question because the reason we were doing this awareness in heart disease in women because men and women can present differently when they're having a heart attack. So, and just remind me to get back to that 99%.
Okay.
So I'll just give you an example. So most people when they're having a heart attack will have some form of chest pain. And normally a man will have crushing chest pain.
Okay.
Okay, but for a woman, she might describe her chest pain, oh, I'm just having a bit of pressure or a bit of tightness or maybe some sharpness. And sometimes the language a woman uses to describe her chest pain can have an impact on her diagnosis and her treatment. So both men and women will likely have some form of chest pain, having a heart attack, and also some form of chest shortness of breath. But women also have additional symptoms.
Okay.
And they could be indigestion type symptoms. Okay, they could be not being able to sleep very well. Could be fatigue, sudden onset fatigue. Could be weakness. It could be nausea. It could be an irregular heartbeat, rapid or irregular heartbeat. Could be dizziness, lightheadedness.
Okay.
Most times we talk about a man having pain in their left arm, but a woman can have it in their back, shoulders, or even right arm. Even in the jaw, sometimes women complain, I've had jaw pain, go to the dentist and everything is fine, and it could be related to their heart.
The heart, okay.
Yeah. So going back to that, the awareness part for men and women, they need to know the symptoms that they could present with. And for women, besides chest pain, they usually have 3 or more symptoms besides their chest pain.
Okay.
So today, what we're also doing is educating our healthcare providers because I have a background in health. I was taught on a male model.
Okay.
So we're now trying to, with the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance, we're trying to get education into the curriculum for the medical students and the nursing students so that they know that we do present differently as women. So now for women, when they go to the doctors are now learning, okay, maybe they do have heart attack symptoms.
Okay.
But for a younger female, they might think her symptoms could be related to heartburn, anxiety, or female issues. And if that's what they're thinking, then obviously that could be an impact on her diagnosis and treatment. So the symptoms are different, but just remember, for all women, when in doubt, check it out and make sure that they see their doctor and get help as soon as possible.
Okay.
So the second question I think you asked me on that was
99%.
What can I do to manage my health? You know, I've now shown up at the hospital and I now have 99% blockage. Well, it could be some factors like risk factors. I have a family history.
Okay.
It could be age. Sometimes as we get older, our risk of heart disease increases because our heart is a major organ muscle, so it gets weaker and slower. Men, men are at a higher risk at an earlier age than women, before 55, and then after menopause, women and men are equal, and there's certain ethnic groups that are predisposed to heart disease. But saying all of that, we know those factors we can't do anything about.
No.
But 80% of heart disease is preventable and manageable by changing the risk factors we have control. And this is where we get into getting into that 99%.
99%, that's right.
This is a lot. So there's risk factors that we can look after to prevent us from hopefully getting into that blockage. So the first risk factor that is this 80% that was in our control is high blood pressure, that bad cholesterol, diabetes, when our blood sugar level goes too high.
Okay.
Smoking, we know no amount of smoking is good for our heart.
Okay.
And you also talked about the negative emotions earlier.
Yes.
So we talked about stress, depression, anxiety, anger. Those emotions now are a risk factor for heart disease. And overweight and obesity is a risk factor. And overweight and obesity, say it's like a chronic disease now, like diabetes and high blood pressure. So getting back, what can we do?
What can we do? Stop eating samosas, right? Samosas should be stopped. Ice cream should be stopped.
All of that.
All of that should be stopped.
But it's basically basic good eating habits. And I think the majority of us really know that because that 80% is within our control. So I know during COVID we all cooked at home and stayed at home, which is great because when we plan...
Delicious foods.
That's right. Because when we cook at home, plan our meals at home, we know what goes into them.
Yes.
When we go out, sometimes we don't know the salt, fat, or sugar content. So it's better if we can eat at home and cook at home. And just remember vegetables and fruit. We should have vegetables and fruit at every meal and have a colorful arrangement of vegetables and fruit. And they can be fresh, frozen, raw, put them in salads, put them in soups, put them in stews. And it's recommended that we have 7 to 10 servings of vegetables and fruit a day.
A day.
Now, a serving is only half a cup. So that's one thing. The same thing, they're saying if you're eating meat, it should be 2-legged meat, not 4, so more turkey and fish. But they really recommend we have fish at least twice a week, and it can be fresh, frozen, or canned, okay? And then our fats. We like fat because it gives us flavor to our food. We just focus on plant-based fats, your olive oil and your canola oil. Then exercise. Okay, that's the next.
We have 1 minute left, so you tell me, there is a heart disease. Somebody went to the 99% was the blockage, came home. Are they allowed to eat pizza and all those hard stuff that they should be avoiding?
No, they should really cut out on the unhealthy foods, and they should focus on the healthy foods, just like I mentioned. They really need to focus on the healthy foods. But one thing we do have for women who have been diagnosed with heart disease and they've been treated for heart disease, we do have a program called the Women at Heart Peer Support Program. And this program was launched in January 2015. And this is a support program, and it's a free program, and the women do not need a referral by their doctor. So they can just go online to support, to take this program. So I know we're running out of time, but I only want to mention that tomorrow is Wear Red Canada Day.
Okay, so everybody should wear red.
Should wear red. And this is our 7th annual Wear Red Canada Day. And it's an awareness campaign to raise awareness of heart disease in women. So the website is wearredcanada.ca. There's a number of webinars on there, so they're free. You can just sign up to any of the webinars about women's heart health. If they want to take part in a movement, they can do that. But that's tomorrow. And this month, obviously, as we know, is Heart Month.
Thank you so much, Marianne. And this is a great information. And I hope this can be helpful to all the South Asian women.
Yes, it will be. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
ਅਸੀਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਾਰਟ ਹੈਲਥ ਲਈ ਮੈਰੀਅਨ ਮਾਰਟੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਕਾਫੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੇ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਹਾਰਟ ਅੱਛਾ ਹੋਏ, ਹੈਲਦੀ ਹੋਵੋ, then you want to have enjoyment in your life. And you go and buy houses. You buy the best house you want to buy. Then we go to Karan Sharma. And Karan Sharma is so popular these days. I don't know what is with him. Everybody goes to Karan, and everywhere I go, in the Bar Haven we go, people talk about Karan. We go to Orleans, people talk about Karan. Karan, what is in you that people always talk about you?
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਲਿਸਨਰਸ ਨੂੰ। ਐਂਡ I think it's just, the care for people. ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਲਈ, we take care of them. in each and every transaction, doesn't matter if it's rental, buy, sell, my whole team, we make sure it's our own transaction. So what would we do if it's our transaction? That's what we do. So basically, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਹਰ transaction ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So I think that's why ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ.
And you know the videos you post over there, I think you should be in movies. Honestly, those videos are it's so professional. And I want to ask you, you have so many talents. You started with engineering, you came here in Canada to study, and you did so much education, and then you end up in this profession where you are shining like a big star over there. What made you think about real estate?
So obviously, Archana, so when I came here, it wasn't my goal at that time. So as I came here to, for school to study. So मेरा हमेशा शुरू तो रहा है, चाहे वो पढ़ाई होवे, job होवे, business होवे, कुछ भी होवे, I always make sure I'm putting my 200%. So same with the schools too. I graduated with honors, and then at my job too, I was excelling every year, from different role to different roles. And real estate, I just got into real estate. Before coming to real estate, I did like 3 transactions for myself.
Okay.
And ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਾ process ਵਗੈਰਾ. Then I started helping my friends out. For holi, I got into real estate. And as I said, hard work, working 24/7, always available for people, our clients, family members, friends. So that's what made us here. Sanji.
So do you think that a tariff lagan laga that will affect your credibility or ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ effect ਹੋਏਗਾ ਇਹਦਾ?
देखिए जी, it's a very economical, like a very big question. No, I think it's very hard to answer as well, but in my opinion, again, I'm not an economist. I'm sure I would be sitting at Bank of Canada somewhere table, but what I'm from the ground level, what I can say is it can go both ways.
Both ways, okay.
So one way would be, let's say tariffs ਦੇ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. Construction costs, जो भी चीज़ां अगर आप lumber या कुछ भी आप import कर रहे हैं states, so obviously prices will go up. Builders will have no choice either to increase the prices of the houses or keep the prices same, reduce the size of the houses. आजकल तो उधर ही लोग की complain करते हैं नवे घर इन्ने छोटे हैं,
नवे घर बड़े हों ना,
backyard छोटे हो गए, room छोटे हो गए ने, so they have no choice. Another way, जे tariffs लगते हैं मैंने लगता उन्हों ਨੂੰ tackle ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਕੋਲ ਸਿਰਫ choice ਹੋਣੀ ਹੈ to reduce the interest rate quickly. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ interest rate ਘਟਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ, and then money printing ਕਰਨੀ ਪੈਣੀ, some sort of money market ਚ ਦੇਣੀ ਪੈਣੀ ਹੈ, as we saw what happened in COVID. So that could bring house value up as well. So it can go both ways. Consumer confidence भी नीचे जा सकता है, prices ऊपर भी जा सकते हैं. So we don't know. But again, all I say to everybody, जे कोई first time home buyer हैगा या उन्होंने कार लेना है, the Ottawa local market is very different. There are a lot of factors play in the market. Let's say it's a jobs ki like we have a lot of factory employees here, IT companies in here. We have more white collar jobs here, right? So basically, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ first time home buyer, they're going to keep that house for 5 years, 10 years. For them, it's probably best, like any time is the best time because at least उन्होंने अपना rent pay करना तो बंद कर देना है. So they will start paying for the mortgage.
So these will be coming and then bank rates might affect. But how about you made that 1% right now in Canada? Did you make it second time or third time?
Second time in a row.
A second time. What do you think about that?
So honestly, when I got into this field, I remember my first year in the career, I was at the awards night. I was asking my wife, one day I hope I will be there. I don't, and my wife asked me, what does these agents do to get there? Because only 7 or 8 agents or teams selected from Ottawa to be in that group. We have over 6,000 agents, in Royal LePage. So Royal LePage is the biggest brokerage in Canada. In order to become a top 1% in that brokerage, you have to do help maybe over 200 families, 150 families a year. and doing that many transactions is not a joke.
No.
And it's not a third-party website. There are a lot of websites online as well, Rank My Agent, Property Sparks. They'd say these are our top agents based on reviews, but not all the realtors are registered on their websites.
Okay.
So technically, this particular award is based on your performance,
So
real
Ottawa should
performance.
feel very proud.
And I feel very proud and very humble. Sanu community da inna pyar milya hai. And
Wow,
and I really want to thank my whole team as well. And I obviously now onwards ਆਪਾਂ hope ਕਰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਅੱਧੀ succeed ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ.
So now I want to come to you. You make a lot of money. You made to top 1% too. What about the charity? Are you involved in any kind of charity? Because the people are trusting you, and there's lots going on, and there's lots of needs in our community as well. How do you give back to the community?
So you are a big, inspiration in that sense and field for me.
That's very nice of you to
honestly,
say.
And you asked me to join for your own event, event for breast cancer raising funds. So I'm very proud to be a part of it. And also through Royal LePage and some other events, we give back to women's shelter.
Okay.
And also food banks, local food banks. So every year I try my best to give as much as back to the community. Yeah.
And I just want to add for our community, the Social Network of Women is arranging breast cancer awareness gala, which is going towards the research. That money will go. It will be at Infinity, and it'll be 10 to 2 and April 13th. And if you would like to be part of it, and it's a big initiative by a small organization, and our wish is that we raise lots of funds to help with the help of our Karan Sharma. Right, Karan?
Yeah, for sure, anytime.
I am really privileged to have you supporting us all the way whenever we need it.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm very curious to ask you that you have made to 1%. What was the biggest achievement you had in selling houses?
So last 2 years, especially, they were really, up and down because of higher interest rates in 2023, and interest rates coming back, reducing every month. But then buyers' confidence wasn't there. Even in those markets, we did so well. As you said, we came at number 3 in Ottawa and number 90 in Canada. And actually, last week we also got an award by Kaiwan, the builder in Ottawa.
Okay.
We became the number 1 platinum broker of the year 2024 for the highest volume sold among all the realtors in Ottawa. So,
very nice.
And all these awards, for us, the one thing is common. The common thing behind all these things is the hard work, taking care of people like their family members, and going beyond for them, and making sure they get the best deals out there. And all the requirements are met, so that's what we do.
Okay, what would you say to the new buyers if somebody wants to buy the house? What would you say to them?
So I always tell buyers, make sure you don't go beyond your budget. So I always tell them, make sure you do your research. Sometimes I suggest them first even driving to different neighborhoods in Ottawa.
Okay.
So we have Orleans, Nepean, downtown, Canada, Barhaven, Stittsville. I tell people, sometimes they come up with the mindset, I only want to buy in Canada. I don't want to look in Barhaven or other neighborhoods. I tell them, if somebody has, let's say, explore all the neighborhoods, that's fine. And then also I always tell, please make sure you get your pre-approval, and make sure you're working with somebody who's full-time. As in this field, a lot of people are part-time as well, and nothing against them. But I feel like when you're purchasing a house over $500K, $400K, $1 million home, you want to have somebody who's fully dedicated in this field.
Which one is the most expensive house you ever sold?
So I have done transactions from $200,000 to almost $1.8 million in my career. And so, yeah, so 1.7 something like that. So I've done that as well. And it was a custom home. And I've also sold close to $1.3 million home in Barhaven.
Okay.
In the tough market, that was over $90,000 over asking.
Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Karan. Is there any other question I should ask you and I forgot in favor of our viewers?
No, I think you covered everything.
I covered everything.
You covered everything.
And I think we are, so my last one is, what kind of strategies, special strategies you use to sell your houses?
So as you mentioned earlier, I should become a TV actor or a movie star. So I think I believe in a humble way, I believe we do really, really well and on social media. You won't believe, last year we did 191 transactions.
Okay.
Almost 200 transactions in 1 year. And you won't believe, many of them, they get sold because of our social media marketing. What happens is, let's say somebody is not even looking for a house right now. They might be interested in buying in few months. But they see this random video on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And if they like it, who knows, they'll come and approach, hey, I like this house. Can you book a viewing? And they end up liking it, they will buy it. So it's really important. Back in the days, it's not about just taking photos and post it on MLS. So it's all about coming with strategies as well. And like on Instagram, you have to make sure your videos are creative enough in a professional way that people watch them. Because on social medias, nobody like to watch videos for more than 10 seconds.
Okay.
So.
Thank you, Karan. And this is, I'm going to say we are proud of you. Ottawa is proud of you, that because of you, we count ourselves as 1% too. And with that, I will just let you know that next month is the Holi. Get ready for Holi. And there are so many events coming. You will see me over there too. From all of us, Karan's team and from Roger's team, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਨਮਸਤੇ, ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਤੇ ਆਦਾਬ. See you next month with the Holi celebration.